Welcome to Meet the Candidate with your host, Sulani Madsen. Meet the Candidate is your opportunity to see local candidates and hear about the experiences that have shaped their lives. Meet the Candidate is a nonpartisan community project brought to you by your friends at the Ponderosa Republican Women's Club, North by Northwest Digital, We Believe, We Vote, and the McGarry Law Office, the landlord's attorney. Now, here's Sulani.
So welcome to this edition of Meet the Candidate, and my guest is Mike Wiser, who's running for Spokane Public Schools, position 5,
yes,
as a school board member. And welcome, Mike.
Thank you.
Well, it's just my opportunity to get to hear a whole lot of people's life stories, starting with, so where did you grow up?
I grew up right here in Spokane, Washington.
Well, that leads to the next question, which is then, where did you go to school?
I graduated from Lewis and Clark High School, yes.
Grade school?
Wilson and Sacagawea. Yeah, usually it's, where'd you go to high school? But yeah.
Well, no. If you're from Spokane, you got to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
My father taught at Wilson, but that was quite a long time ago. I'm sure it predates you.
And I also went to Indian Trail for kindergarten too, so better add that.
Okay. In that schooling, was there some particular a teacher that stuck in your mind?
Probably my sixth grade teacher, Mr. Lure, because I think until I was late bloomer and young student, born in July. So it was sixth grade when I really kind of got in my own skin, I guess, and started liking school and liking what I was doing and feeling like I was doing well.
And did he encourage you in any particular way?
He did, yes. That was the kind of early days of computers, and I had got old computer at home and started doing some basic stuff, and so I was kind of his classroom helper for the computer, and so he really encouraged that, helping him out with technology that was all brand new to him too.
Well, those are always good memories. As growing up there and in the neighborhood, did you have an opportunity for a first job? Someplace that you first connected money and labor?
I did do babysitting for a neighbor for a little bit, for like 75 cents an hour, which was kind of fun. But my first kind of 9 to 5 sort of job was working in an auto parts warehouse. My dad had a Motion Auto Supply, and so I'd put away and receive auto parts during the summers, starting in I think before high school.
So what did you learn from that job?
That the time can go very slowly sometimes if you're not interested in what you're doing. I think I never got to that point of letting my thoughts wander and just enjoying the quiet time by myself, or maybe with one or two other people. So I think that just encouraged me to go on to college and figure out what I wanted to do with my life.
Okay, well, where did you go to college?
University of Washington, studied industrial engineering.
Okay. It sounds like if you're somebody who would now appreciate those opportunities for quiet time by yourself, do you have a family at home that keeps your household busy?
I do have a wife and a couple of daughters going into 5th and 8th grades in Spokane Public Schools.
Okay. What are some of the activities that you've been involved with in the schools?
Well, I've been a pretty engaged parent since the preschool cooperative, really. So been in there with the kids when they could barely walk, but we did the preschool thing, and so that was a lot of fun. And then since elementary school, I've been a regular parent volunteer in the classroom and on parent committees, and now the treasurer and that sort of thing. So it's been a lot of fun to actually be with my daughters as they transition from toddlers to learning how to read and to going on to middle school and
which middle school are they at?
My older daughter's at Sacagawea.
Oh, I went to Sacagawea.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, she loves it. Yeah.
Well, there were twice as many kids there when I was there. It was horribly overcrowded, so I wouldn't say that I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was I think a tough time for the school district too, in terms of adapting to the numbers that were going through right then.
Yeah.
I'm looking for another question. How about some travel experiences or lessons learned from travel, from seeing other places?
Yeah, I've been fortunate and also very interested in travel, and got a lot of traveling under my belt through being a management consultant, and then also, I guess my first job after college took me to Boise, but then after about 4 years, my then girlfriend and I decided to quit our jobs and travel Europe.
Huh?
So that was probably the most memorable experience, just backpacking around, living on the cheap.
Do you have a good anecdote to share?
I think the most interesting time, I guess, for that travel was going to these German work camps where not any kind of forced labor, but you'd actually pay a little bit of money for room and board and go in the middle of the forest and the Harz Mountains and get to work around a bunch of other, typically young 20-year-old sorts of students doing outdoor forestry work and restoring ditches and that sort of thing. So
Okay, like a trail crew.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that. We got to hang out with this group from all over Europe and all over the world for a month at a time, and that was just really cool to see those how much different the cultures are. Some people, like I remember another person kind of sleeping on me like a gentleman who would lay his head on me on the train, and it's like, oh wow, we would absolutely not do that where I come from, but that was just what they did. They were very personal space was not a thing. That was an okay thing to do.
Yeah, personal space is something that is very culturally defined as to what we think is appropriate distance for talking.
Yeah.
Let me see. What else would be something that you'd like to tell people about yourself that you think informs how you approach the school board?
That's a good question. I think, I guess I'd probably go back to some of my experiences in college. Later I went to business school at Northwestern, and so this is the first time running for public office, but I have run for these other kind of elected positions with industrial engineering, and ran for
With an organization, professional organization.
right,
kind of
like the
thing.
student representative group for the industrial engineering community. And really what you do when you're with a bunch of engineers, right? So you're kind of the biggest geek wins, and that particular election I tied, so I became vice president after a rock, paper, scissors contest.
Seriously, you tied in as
Yeah,
well?
right. And then in business school, I ran for technology representative, kind of on the Napoleon Dynamite's brother, who was the I Love Technology guy. That was.
I recognize the reference, but
Yeah.
I've honestly never seen the movie.
Oh,
so.
okay. Well, you should see the movie. It's
Okay.
good. So I kind of ran on the I Love Technology, and my platform was I'm a bigger geek than my opponent. And I did win that one. So I think that does say a little bit about who I am, and I kind of own that geeky, data-driven sort of guy, which I think is pretty helpful for school board stuff, because you're every week getting thrown a lot of reports and numbers and outcomes and results, and you kind of have to love to dive into those sorts of details a lot. And I think the last thing I'll say about those sorts of elected experiences is about 5 years ago, I guess, with the Franklin Elementary Apple parent group, I ran for office. It was unopposed, but I was ran for the executive committee, and I was kind of still doing the data geek kind of thing, but I also wanted to add on the community representative, and we'd had kind of a little bit of turmoil, I'd say, of people not feeling like their voice was heard, and so I was able to help put some structure behind getting community input and helping folks just have those discussions about where do we want to go as a program and as a group. And so for school board, I think that informs kind of what I'm trying to do now as a board member, which is be a real strong voice of the community and also be still that technology data geek.
Well, that sounds like that answers the question of what inspired you to run for elected public office, which was those experiences with the Apple parent group.
Yeah, that was a big part of it, because I think about when we were talking about rebuilding Franklin, because it was coming up for bond and now it's under construction right now. We were, as parents, kind of concerned about middle school, because like I went to Sacagawea, and 7th grade was a pretty hard time for me. So I was kind of like, what could we expand this to a K-8 program, or could we do something different with middle school at Franklin? So yeah, we had those sorts of discussions, and that was a lot of fun for me to talk to teachers and parents and students too, and find out what they were interested in.
Okay. Well, it's time for that wrap-up question, and this is your opportunity to answer the question, why should people vote? For Mike Wiser, for School Board Director, Position 5, Spokane Public Schools.
Sure. So I think the first thing is that I'm really passionate about a school system that produces excellent results for all students. So not just the ones that learn in the traditional model, but the ones who have maybe historically had a lot harder time achieving results, or have not had a great experience just in terms of, are they happy at school? Are they enjoying school? So that's number one. The second, I talked about the kind of business school and engineering background that I bring to the school board, which I think is critical. I buy into the district with a couple daughters and a past graduate and my parent volunteering experience, so I really want the district to succeed very much. And last thing, I'm working really hard as a board member now to reach out to people I normally wouldn't talk to and understand that it's not my opinion that matters, it's the community's opinion. I really want to be a conduit for as many different opinions as possible. I want the school system to serve all of our community with equity.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike, and good luck on your campaign.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching Meet the Candidate. Spokane Talks Online thanks our community-minded partners at Ponderosa Republican Women's Club, North by Northwest Digital, We Believe, We Vote, and the McGarry Law Office, the landlord's attorney, for helping make Meet the Candidate possible.